All right, we're Arts and Adventure Summits, the airwaves. This is the Ogden Arts and Adventure Show. I'm your host, Arbrand, along with
Todd Oberndorfer.
We're both together. We're your hosts for the greatest arts and adventure podcast in all the land. And I feel like this is a really good moment, Todd.
Wow.
I know this is a really good moment. I mean, you got your eyes closed because I think you were focusing in on the moment. I think is what it was.
No, I was. I took a big sip of this drink. I closed my eyes. I pretended I was alone in here. No, I'm just kidding. This is good.
That's
stuff.
not the first time I love who we're joined with today, which is an Ogden staple. How many years has Ogden's own distillery been around?
Established in 09.
09.
Yeah.
09.
Yeah.
So did you say 16?
15.
15, well, just about 16 years.
Almost 16.
That was 1 year before we started.
Yeah.
I think started in 2010.
Yeah.
Nice.
As we did this first
And then
podcast as a radio show at Weaver State.
That's
We're
true.
doing that right when you guys are getting
true.
started.
And what was the first product?
Underground.
It was underground?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we started van sessions, I have this 87 Dodge camper van, and we decided we were supposed to make announcements for the Ogden Arts Stroll, and it didn't really end up being that. We had musicians in the van down at Union Station. And then I called up, it was one of the owners at the time, and I'm like, hey, we're starting this thing, FYI. He's like, hang on, I'll send you a care package. Next thing you know, he sends me a bottle of Underground in a burlap bag with the Underground logo on it. And so I had that burlap bag hanging from the van but there was it was in a few photos, but we didn't video anything at the time. It was podcast only. So we would just drink some Underground and play music. And
Yeah. This is something we don't disclose. That's the very first drink we ever had.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Uh-huh.
So thanks for doing that.
Yeah, we appreciate that. So let's introduce our guests here. We have Christian. Christian is let me get the camera on you there, dude. It says social media, but and more. Like what else do you do there?
So I do social media marketing, but I do a little bit of everything when it kind of comes to PR related stuff. So I do some of our copywriting, press releases, kind of everything under our communication umbrella. I do like our email blasts, kind of handle some of our online store stuff a little bit as well.
Are you the voice of Ogden's own distillery?
I mean, my voice does sound pretty good on this.
I can even give you more compression. We can play with it. We can go deep,
Or we could just be quiet and you could just talk and listen to yourself. Just take it in, man. Take it in.
A Mariah Carey moment.
Oh God, that's fantastic. And then we have Ed Cable, like the TV national sales manager for how long, Ed?
I've been at the distillery for 2 years now, on the payroll officially.
You were just hanging out there before.
Well, so
he's in so many pictures throughout the years.
Way back when it started, with the original guys and that, I was kind of we'd go out to the different events. So I'd go spend time and, get everybody to have a cocktail and just chill out and have a good time. Set the vibe.
Yeah,
all
that's
of
your
that.
job. Vibe guy.
It was vibe guy.
Yeah.
And then it was, so what are you doing? Well, I was planning on fishing and golfing. Come work at the distillery.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm on the payroll. So.
Yeah.
You can still fish and golf.
I do, yeah.
And drink, because that's what you do when you're fishing golf.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so before I want to touch on, Christian, your job, because copywriting is near and dear to my heart as an English major, and I think it's cool. But before we get there, I think we should show off what we're drinking. Yes, let's talk about that. Ed, what did you pour us here tonight?
So you've got the espresso martini.
Oh my God!
Our canned cocktail that we have.
So I have the can. Let's show it off. This is the espresso martini. How long has this been on the market here?
That was last year that we released that.
It is heavenly, by the way.
It is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the same 5.
Yep.
Yeah,
exact same
okay.
5 sisters, the Barrison sisters.
Yeah. And that's in the Five Wives vodka, in case you don't know. And then what's Todd got?
Then he's got the Porter's Peach Tea.
Oh, is that a Gorilla?
Yeah,
It's Porter Rockwell.
It is Porter?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
drink this
Porter's
all
got a
day.
hat
This
on.
is a
Yeah.
perfect
Yeah,
song.
we put a hat on him for
Okay,
that
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Kind of a, little more punk on him.
A little more punk on the cans, yeah.
So that's
It's a good choice, too.
the tie-in there is that my best friend growing up, from kindergarten through high school, his dad painted the Porter Rockwell picture that is used on the. He's the logo. He's the guy.
Yeah.
He's the logo. He's the
Yeah.
logo. That was. But they approached his dad and said, "Bruce Woolsey, can we use your
That one.
that one right there? Then
Yeah.
Get the picture. Yeah, that one there. That was his. That's his painting. Bruce's
Yeah.
painting right there. And Bruce still teaches my mom painting lessons. He's got a little establishment there in the Terrace in South Ogden, and he still does it, man. That's
cool.
his painting back in the day. And Woolsey, my friend, is like, I don't think he negotiated that properly because I don't know what he got paid, but it wasn't very much. I'm like, well, he is an artist. That's what we do. We just give our shit away. So
That's really funny.
it is really funny. All right. Well, the drinks are fantastic. This one is a percentage that I dare not name, and so if halfway through I'm losing it, this is why. But this is good. This is good. I love drinking and podcasting at the same time. It's one of my favorite pastimes, actually, Todd. So
This is not our first time.
no, it's not our first time.
I'm like, I've heard you
This
pop
is-
beers before. What are you talking
Well,
about?
the reason we had to
Really
leave
good.
Weber State as a radio show is because they wouldn't let us drink. It's a dry campus, and so if you wanted to drink and podcast, drink and radio, you couldn't drink and radio. You had to leave the campus, which is
Lame.
a shame. So lame. Yeah. Okay, so Christian, we've got an adult beverage brand in an heavily LDS state, and boy, does the brand lean into it, right?
Absolutely.
Five Wives, and the Five Wives that is what's the Five Guys version?
Five husbands.
Five Husbands.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Yes, that comes out, and so how's the freedom there to write copy for such a progressive brand in Utah, which is kind of fun.
I think everybody kind of likes stirring the pot in Utah.
Yeah.
So working at the distillery with the different brands, we like to do that just as a company as a whole because it's fun and it's catchy and a lot of people react to it, whether it's in a good way or a bad way, but a lot of people talk about it. With that creative freedom though, I really enjoy it, poking a little fun. It's really easy with Madame Paterini, given one of Brigham Young's sons in drag. So that's an easy one. The Five Wives is always a polygamist play as well. So it's a blast. We lean into it really hard. And I'm sure you guys can see that.
Yeah,
as well on socials
and it
billboards
goes up
and
on
such.
billboards. Like there's no hiding. Like there's billboards in Salt Lake with Five Husbands. So that's like we're all in.
Enjoy Five Wives. The locals do. That's my favorite.
Now, Todd, is it true that your old abode was was like where all the Five Wives used to live down there, where my sister lives? Is that what?
That Shire.
The Shire. That's a myth. Okay.
It is, but it's one of those sort of urban legends that it's best to just keep it as an urban.
I love that legend. Yeah.
Because it is set up just like a little compound. So,
Yeah.
but alas, I'll break that. But at the same time, that's a great story.
Did you say the Shire?
That's what we call it. The
That's
Shire.
what I heard too. It's like,
Yeah, it's like a
Had to
series
double
of cottages, which is kind of an open courtyard in the middle. But the way that it's set up, I mean, it
This is a real
reads
place.
very much like
yeah.
the one home being a little bit bigger and then kind of surrounded by individuals. And so,
I mean, if that's what you were
alas.
doing with your life, it makes total sense. Like it's set up for that. But
yeah, you're doing all right.
yeah,
You're able to build like a dozen houses for all your wives. That's great.
Not bad at all. All right, back to Christian here. What are some of the you're marketing and stuff, but are you involved in the events? Like, what are some of the things that you're participating in? I mean, it's fall, it's Halloween, leading into the holiday season.
I would say the biggest or the most involved I am with our events would be the summer series. So the summer series we have in our
Congrats on that. That was awesome.
Thank
by
you.
the way.
Did you
Yeah.
were you able to stop out?
It was.
either
I saw
this season or last.
I saw so many pictures, but I couldn't make it. So, but it got out there and it was everywhere. And because Todd books for van sessions, and we see a lot of these bands. It was a fantastic lineup. I kept a keen eye. I always keep a keen eye on the lineup. I'm like, they're getting good talent. And that's going to be helpful for what they're doing out there. So
yeah, so a lot of the events now that the summer series is over are kind of our events that we sponsor, and then alongside events that are happening at Sidebar, which is also down at the distillery.
yeah.
And a lot of those events are handled by Rue, the bar manager. A lot of folks listening to the podcast probably know Rue from Lighthouse. So yeah,
She's
she's doing
the
a
one
lot
doing
of.
the viral stuff on the.
That's Meredith and Michelle.
Okay.
Yeah, they asked me one day. They said, "Hey,
how much freedom do we have?"
Yeah, we kind of want to play around with some things." And I said, "You know what? Here's the password. Have at it."
I tried that as a small business general manager, and it's tough, man. Like if they're not on brand or something, but they're doing a fantastic job. So.
Yeah, I would say that's the most challenging part of my position in social media. Is it's the most challenging, but it's also the most what's a good way to put it? It's the most challenging thing to maneuver, but it also gives me a lot of creative freedom, having all the different brands, because the demographics are so different for each brand.
Oh, interesting.
Like your Five Husbands demographic is not the same as your Porter's demographic.
Yeah.
Or same with, there's some crossover with Five Wives and Porter's, but there's some things that don't cross over in our portfolio. So sometimes that can be a little challenging when I do like collaborative posts, because Porter's folks don't necessarily like to see some of the Five Husbands stuff. But so that's kind of a challenge, but it's also one of the things I love about it.
That's interesting. And then the other thing I think is interesting is that Underground is branded as Underground. Do you even push is the distillery in the background? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So the distillery kind of is in the background, how we have everything set up. Our juggernauts are obviously Five Wives and Porters. And so the other brands we still nurture and care for, but we understand who our horses are that carry us along.
Okay.
So that's been stuff we've kind of went back and forth and talked about, of like branding. Do we do it all under one? Do we kind of keep them separate? So we think keeping them separate has been beneficial for the brands. And
yeah,
it's been beneficial, but we just went through the labels, all new labels. And this is the first time that on each of the bottles, you'll see the Ogden Zone seal now.
Yep.
So
ties it together.
Yeah.
So that's literally the first time in 16 years that they've been put there on each one.
Yeah, it really hasn't been on there or prominent on there. At all. So everybody always knows it as Five Wives or Porters or the Madam or Underground.
I think it was Uena that we were talking with, and they had to rebrand and put Uena on because some of their individual beers had gotten so popular they didn't know who the brewer was.
Yeah.
They just knew it as the beer name. And so they're like, oh, we need to kind of revisit the labels and remind people this is who's making it, So yeah.
Yeah, we'll tell folks, we'll be like, we're from Ogden's own distillery, and they're like, what? You say Five Wives vodka, and they're all, oh.
Wild. Yeah, that's because they are very distinct and popular too, which is awesome. Very good. Okay, so you throwing a party this weekend?
Yeah, so Sidebar is having a costume party. It is free entry for Halloween.
Hell yeah, as long as you're dressed up. Got to be dressed up.
Yeah, got to be dressed up. I did get some intel, so sorry Sidebar crew if I'm spoiling anything, but they are going for a WrestleMania theme. So if anybody wants to jump on that theme, some content would be amazing.
Oh.
So Ogden, show up in your WrestleMania at Sidebar.
Ed, what's your character name? What's your wrestling character name?
Oh, dude. I'd have to go as the Undertaker.
Undertaker.
I love him. That is like the Ultimate Warrior.
What was that?
Did you say 5 p.m.?
5 p.m., yes.
5 p.m. 5 p.m. Friday. Okay.
Yep.
Ed. Spandex?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't even think about it.
It's part of the sales uniform.
Right.
That's just rummaging around the clothes that you already have. So it's just like, all right.
That's easy.
Let's work that in.
Yeah. Oh, it's just Ed, being Ed, which is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Sales manager, Ed, what does your day-to-day look like? You wake up, how do you drink every day? Like, how long do you, is this part of the sales?
I try not to drink every day, during the week, but, just kind of depends on the day, looking at the email, seeing where we're going, look at follow-ups.
Yeah.
I always tease all my friends that have real jobs that, they go to the office and I go bar hopping all day.
Yeah.
I'm talking to people in the industry, bar owners and bartenders, and just, getting ready for events, creating cocktails, menus, all of that fun stuff. So, yeah.
And what's your job? I mean, because in Utah is different from other states. And so I don't know how you do the sales. And do you go to different bars in Utah to carry the liquors, or is it
Yeah.
you have to go to the state to have the bars? Like, how's that work?
No, so I'm going to the bars because the
Okay.
state already has all the liquor. The bars are buying the liquor from the state. So, talking a lot about the products, being a face out there and a voice, giving them ideas that may drive traffic to their bars, maybe help them with their sales on that, of our products, and just showing the benefits of it, local pricing, right, all of that. So,
Were you a bartender before?
yes, I actually managed and jammed and bartended for a long time before. So,
Todd, you can talk about what my sister was doing because it's she's a bartender in Salt Lake and had some prominent things happen recently. But that is helpful because then you can go in, teach how to make a cocktail, and be like, use this to make this, and it sells more of your product.
yeah, I do a lot of trainings at bars with their staff and that, just letting them know about the product, how we can use it. The cool thing about having Sidebar at the distillery is, as our bottles are cheap in price, you might get a thought process of, it's just a cheap bottle of vodka, but we have really elevated cocktails at Sidebar. Mm-hmm. So I can show from, bartender, like a 3 grab, 4 grab, 5 grab drink to a really elaborate drink at all of it. So the juices just kind of go for everything.
Can you guys talk just a little bit about the kind of history and success of Sidebar? It's just, I still think of it a relatively new place. I know it's been there for a little while, but when did it sort of kick off? And people are going there in droves. Like everybody's talking about that place. And so let's just chat a little bit about that.
I would say Sidebar definitely has that reputation of kind of like it's up and coming, but it has been around for a while. I would say where the trajectory really started to take off was Summer Series last year. That's when we really jumped in and threw some money towards advertising and getting the word out there, putting some money behind. We had Safety Orange from California come out to perform. We're trying to get it, trying to get the Summer Series up to a point where we can get some out-of-state talent to kind of sprinkle in along with Ogden talent. But with Sidebar, going back to that, I really think the trajectory started about 2 years ago when we really started pushing the Summer Series. We did some renovations out back, and we were kind of pushing it as an event space as well, not the bar itself, but the amphitheater. And this is all to get people awareness to Sidebar. I would say our biggest challenge is to get people across the viaduct. And we've just been really putting a lot more focus and attention on Sidebar because it's such a cool niche spot. And especially with our amphitheater space back there that we call it an extension of premise. Essentially, we go to the state for the summer and say, hey, we're having the Summer Series. We would like to do an extension of premise, which extends out that back amphitheater to have it be all of Sidebar. So just the more events that we've been having at Sidebar and advertising for has kind of gotten people to the distillery. And I don't think a lot of people realize how big the building is.
No. Yeah.
And the fact that we have our front of house offices, our production, Sidebar, and our back amphitheater space. So
We call it the backyard.
the backyard.
That's a hell of a backyard, dude.
It's a great backyard. It's a fun backyard.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Because of the liquor licenses and stuff. So is that what you mean by extend to the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the we have a lot of, well, it's Utah. There's a lot of,
It's weird.
yeah. There's a lot of things you have to make sure that you're checking off. So there's 2 ways, because we have a fundraiser that hosts an event at the distillery every year, the J. Parker Memorial. They do a scholarship fund at Utah State. They have to do a private event permit, which pretty much transfers the liability. So if there's anything that happens, people are bringing alcohol out of the event or anything like that, we just have to be really careful about who's hosting events, whether it's us or other people. Just make sure all the boxes are checked. But
Yeah, so the insurance is under the right person. And
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Liability.
so,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
With alcohol, you got to be super careful.
Yeah.
Utah.
Yeah. You want to talk about some of the successes you had this summer as far as the concert series
Yeah.
goes?
So I mean, we don't have like numbers or anything, but I cherish the Summer Series. That's been passed over to Rue now. So Rue is spearheading that, but that was kind of all my gig last year. So it makes my heart happy to know that it's gaining traction, and to be able to have an event space for Ogden, to have another local live music outdoor kind of backyard vibe.
Yep.
It kind of makes me feel like we're like giving back in a way to just host really amazing artists that have been in this van themselves. Shout out Christian Scheller. I saw that episode. From Christian to Christian.
He's been on a few times. Yeah.
But yeah, I would say just seeing the summer series catch on has been a big success this year.
Yeah. And I feel like you were a big part of that this last summer because it was huge. And so you feel a little empty giving that up? I mean, that was a big role.
Less empty, more room to breathe.
There you go. Okay, yeah. Offload to upload, I guess.
Because we go right from our summer series into where we start sponsoring events and going out to events and doing that kind of thing. So we have like 1 month of maybe just a little bit.
I'd like to say we have 1 month, but it's not. I'm sorry.
I asked
Last
the wrong
time I
person.
checked, I'm always at events. I don't know. Do we have a month off of stuff?
Well, when things die down a little bit.
Little bit. You get a little bit of breather, and then you go into October, November, December, and the summer and that, and you just... Everybody wants to do everything. So, we have a lot of fun stuff. Like, recently we did the Park City Wine and Spirits Festival up there.
Oh, fun.
Rue's always doing cool things at the bar. She did a cheese and cocktails. We did the reading night where everybody brought their books and read, and they had the little book club.
I believe they are doing the holiday readathon at Sidebar again this year. I
look on
have
the
to rack
website
my brain.
with
Yeah.
events and that. But that was a really cool one.
We do. Sidebar also has open mic every Thursday and Sunday. I don't have the hours off the top
twice
of
a
my
week.
head.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, so check it's pinned on the Sidebar socials, but they have open mic, which has been taking off as well, which is super cool.
Good. And then I want to know, so I mentioned this before when we were talking before we started the podcast, because it feels like Ogden's Own is such a, to me, personally, I live here, and it's like, oh my gosh, they're like a national brand, they got stuff everywhere. And then you're like, our team is not that big, actually.
No. What are we at? Like 20 people right now?
Total.
Yeah, total in the building. That's bar staff, production, front of the house, going out, all of that. And then, we're really within the 5 states. Now we can ship to every state but 5. You can order it online and we can ship it to you, but...
Who are the 5? Those suckers. They
what is it? Utah,
It's
Tennessee. I should have. Yeah, it's all the control states.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't have to Beard had to distill differently, right? For Utah.
No,
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Okay.
And that. Yeah. No.
Jeez, because that'd be a pain in the ass.
Right. Yeah. I mean, back in the day, they had a little bit of different. Like when porters originally came out, they called it a liqueur, and it wasn't. It's a flavored whiskey, and now Utah's done away with that, so now they see it as a flavored whiskey. But there were little tweaks to the laws always in Utah, so you really got to stay up on those.
Yeah,
because we know we're going to see it because it happened last time. Anything on your wish list that's going to change for the Olympics, and then maybe go back to the way it was. But that was a big opportunity for us. If you think back to the before and after,
it was huge.
And a lot of it stayed. The change stayed right after the fact. But when you got some cameras on you from all over the world, you want to make sure we're not crazy, we're totally normal. I
think we kind of leaned into it though too.
Yeah, well, when it comes to some things, I was thinking the private clubs and things.
Yeah.
Anything on your wish list that you'd like to see make your job a little bit easier, or maybe get the drink in front of more people?
Yeah, I'd like to be able to, sample more people. In other states, I'll go to Oregon, and it's a blast because I can go to the state liquor stores there, and I can bring a couple bottles with me, and I always do samples in sacrament cups, which they're still close enough to Utah. They get the connection, they laugh, have a good time. I'd love to be able to do more things like that in the state, loosen up a little bit. I mean... even Idaho loves that. My
wife's family moved to Pensacola, Florida. Her mom and dad did. And this one time she went out to visit, and I wasn't with her. She went out to visit, and they went to the liquor store. And I was like, oh, they got liquor. She's like, no, you don't understand. It's like a grocery store, and they have samples. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, you just walk, on a Saturday or whatever, you just walk around and take I'm like, you just get drunk at the liquor store for free. You just... Yeah, but that's what happens in other states. Sample.
And
Yeah.
there's a lot of rules around it, like amounts that you can serve and all that.
Sure,
But
yeah.
it's just such a cool vibe. Once they're like, oh, I think I've seen that on the shelf, and then they try and it's like, oh, okay, I guess I need a bottle of that today too, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
What is your favorite cocktail?
Ooh. I've always been a really big Underground fan.
Okay.
So I drink a lot of Underground and my ginger ale. Tastes like an old school root beer. Like my grandmother used to brew root beer in the milk jug, growing up in that. So it's called the Redneck Root Beer. I'm a big fan of that one. But we released a spicy tamarind vodka last year. And so replacing that with anything that I would have ever used a tequila in, doing like my spicy mango margaritas, all of that. And like I'll go out to the concerts, and I know you're not supposed to tailgate in line, but it's Ed. Take my blend jet and make frozen drinks out there with it and just have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just say it's Ed and then get away with all the things.
I try that. I do that a lot. I try that at home. It doesn't really work much when I'm at home.
Yeah.
It's going to keep you balanced, I suppose.
Well,
Yeah.
what is a good, it's, Halloween. We're going to be making a lot of cocktails this weekend. What's a good, you think of a spooky Halloween cocktail off the top of your head?
This time of year, it's a lot of like the pumpkin spice stuff. Like one that we're doing at a bunch of the places is like the Heavenly Beer with like the Heavenly Vodka, which is our vanilla custard vodka with the pumpkin beer and a cinnamon sugar rim around that, which is just killer.
Oh.
I do a lot of the Porter's Fire in almost like just a hopped up, spiced, apple cider.
I was just going to say that Porter's Fire and apple cider.
Dude, Porter's Fire got us through so many cold nights. So the Vans, we're not alone in that,
Dangerous.
obviously.
Yeah.
But the van sessions, before we moved up here to the Monarch all those years ago, we used to be based down at the Union Station, and it was cold many months, and so we would.
We were outside in February.
Yep. And so we would always keep Porter's Fire inside the van for the musicians and for us, and it just kept us warm.
Oh yeah,
and it was just so delicious. But that was just a standard; like we just always had Porter's Fire, and there's still a special place for all of us. That's just like a go-to shot to get the night started, or to keep it going, or to just warm yourself from the inside, or to just like one of those universal, everybody will join me in this shot. You know what I mean? It's just, that's got to be one of your big ones too.
It is. 5 Wives, then Porter's Fire, and that, and we have all the flavors in the porters. I love the peanut butter this time of year. I'll put it in my hot chocolate. I put it in my coffee.
So good.
You are a
so good.
dangerous man, Ed, and I love it.
I'm a lot of fun to hang out with.
Go to a tailgate with Ed.
Yeah, I don't know how people make it through the full game tailgating the way they're supposed to tailgate. Like, how do you do it? What's the secret? You go slow. Pace yourself.
It's a marathon. It's not a
marathon.
sprint.
Yeah.
And I have a trailer that I take up. So,
yeah.
If I need a moment to go sit down, it's...
That's why
where's Ed? Where's Ed? He's in the trailer.
Plus, it's finding that balance. Is that right amount of food with drink. And then,
And there's always a lot of food.
That's the balance. That's the balance. We used to... What was the event that we did? And we were super amateurs the first year or two.
The beer fest up at Snow Basin?
That was a beer fest.
Oh.
Good Lord.
So we'd set up for the whole day up there.
Yeah.
And we weren't prepared. And so we would invite over, maybe we chatted with you guys at some point, I don't know. But
every vendor.
We would invite everybody over, and they would bring over their limited high point to share. We only bottled 3 of these, and we want to have one of these on the air with y'all. And anyway, we didn't pace ourselves. We didn't pregame. We didn't.
No.
Oh my gosh.
No.
And so it was to the point where we were up there for hours too.
The last 3 interviews were unusable.
Unusable. Just and not even a joke, like unusable, like and so
like
at some point, we introduced, of course, what which is, you swing by Beto's on your way up, get yourself a nice big breakfast burrito that weighs as much as you do.
Preload.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the whole experience just got, I don't know. I mean, I really had fun on those first years, but
Yeah.
the interviews were a little more usable. we were able to maintain ourselves. And so you can be strategic. You can be strategic.
You do. You have to.
Yeah. Christian, this is an arts and adventure show. So when it comes to the art of marketing, talk to us about some of the things you're doing there with the brand.
Ooh, and the art of marketing. So things with the brand, that is a great question. There's a lot of things going on with the brand. I would say probably like the biggest things we have going on right now, obviously, is like the Halloween season.
Yeah.
Marketing wise,
I'm talking about the labels, because even like the Five Wives label being the Sisters Barrison, they were a vaudeville act. They were actually sisters. 1893, 97, came over from Europe, traveled around the U.S.
I did not know this.
Yeah, so one of their more famous songs was about a little girl that really wanted a dog, and her dad said no. And they are famously noted for coining a certain P word. And their song at the end, Dad said, no, you can't have a dog, but you can have a cat. So at the end of their shows, they had this song of, would you like to see our kitties? And at the end of the song, using a different word, they'd lift up their dresses and they had the kittens sewn into their dresses. So they were a little bit more on the risque side.
A little?
Yeah.
My goodness.
They were
that
really,
was okay.
But it was, and then they really leaned into it. They were dancers, they were singers, all of that. I mean,
did you say
1893? Is when I think they first
Can we
came
go
over.
back to that for a minute and just watch? I just want to see a performance and see like what happened. Like,
I would love
I've looked for footage of the Barrison sisters, and I haven't
it's just
been
photos,
able to find any.
and recordings. Yeah.
I did discover, this was many moons ago when I started at the distillery. There was a distillery, they closed down in late 1890s. And they also had the Barrison sisters as their logo. Yeah.
Oh, dueling,
it's a little different.
Dueling sister or dueling logos, I guess.
I mean, it's kind of the same essence of where they had kind of some wacky glass that they were distilling into.
Okay.
It's really cool. I forgot what the name of it was.
I didn't know that.
But it was kind of like the same vibe to where it was like the Barrison sisters, where they kind of created a little wave of what's the word I'm looking for? They got people talking about their act.
They did. And have you ever gone back and looked at some of the articles that were written about them? Like, it's kind of funny because a lot of the articles, people are kind of celebrating them, but they're also like appalled at what these girls are doing in their shows and that,
Yeah.
I
So,
mean, it's kind of like any female pop artist that blows up in the United States. I mean, they dance like in promiscuous outfits. They're really not, but then people are like,
so
it always works. It still works. I mean, today it works too. I mean, we're still a country of pearl clutchers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a great
and
way to
so
put
it's I think that,
but I like when Sabrina Carpenter does it.
Yeah, I love Sabrina Carpenter.
She's great.
I'm sure she's still getting a lot of people.
They're sweet and innocent, and then you listen to the lyrics, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
She's
that
a
album
grown woman.
cover.
I get teased by my kids when I'm like sitting there and I'm kind of bebopping. They're like, Dad, do you know who this is? And I'm like, nope, but I like the song. And they're like, awesome.
I have a 15-year-old daughter who is a dancer, and it's Tate McRae. I don't know if you're familiar with the Tate. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. Sabrina, Tate, and then it's like, and then I saw the cover album for the Tate, and I was like, I don't think that's legal. Like that. Oh my God. What is going on here?
Yeah.
So it hasn't changed.
No.
Is it 100 years later? I mean, it hasn't changed. Yeah.
Yeah. I shared a video of the Barrison sisters on the Five Wives Facebook page not too long ago, and it was kind of just like their background, and they were so clever. So clever. So I'm very happy that they represent the Five Wives vodka, because
they were marketers. In fact, I heard someone.
Oh, absolutely.
They were massive.
They were massive. I heard someone mention that Taylor Swift is probably the greatest marketer on the planet.
Amen.
Oh yeah.
Because lots of people can have as good as or better voice than her. Not as many people know how to market themselves as she did within the industry. So. There is that. What do we got coming up with Ogden's own distillery? Is there anything new on the horizon that you can drop here?
No, nothing new that I can drop, but we're always experimenting and looking at new things. We did the pink raspberry lemonade along with the spicy tamarind. You can find it in your local liquor stores.
Oh yeah.
And if they don't have it, please ask them.
Are you the official tester?
We all test.
Okay.
Which are the funnest meeting days. I'm not going to lie. I particularly like when we're testing the whiskey out of the barrel.
Oh wow!
And those are great days.
Quality control.
Yes.
Like it's straight out of the you just
Well, you got to test it and see if it's going to be good in the mingle and that, and and you'll get one and you're like, whoa. 3 months later, you're like, oh, that's the best whiskey I've ever had right there.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's a long process.
Yeah.
Garavati does a masterful job. He's the man.
That's the distiller.
Yeah.
Of everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve Garavati, and that. So.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the man.
Love it. Thanks, you guys, for coming on the program. I love having you here. Anything else you want to mention before we take off here?
I would like to mention something. I'll mention it here first. This is kind of my redemption from the marketing question.
Okay.
Some art of marketing. We are starting a street team.
Uh-oh.
So we haven't done anything official, no official postings or anything yet. But to kind of increase some touch points with our community.
Love that.
Ogden, Salt Lake, everywhere in between. We're looking for some folks that are passionate about the brand. I mean, some Ogdenites would be freaking awesome.
That would be.
So you heard it here first, y'all.
How do they reach out if they're interested?
Christian@ogdensown.com. Christian like the religious philosophy, no relation.
I'm so glad that you cleared that up.
I had to clear that up.
Right.
We would have got
Have you had to do that a few times?
Never.
Never. Okay. Well, very good. Love that. And also, Todd, we should talk about if you had anything going on new, I guess, at your place down there, the Finch Lane.
The Finch Lane. Okay, so Friday, which is October 31st, which is also a holiday, is the final day of our current exhibition, which is Stacy Phillips, mixed media artist who... It's been a really great response. We've sold some of her work, which is fantastic as well. And then in our West Gallery is our very own Eden's own Cam McLeod. And so renowned photographer and a very personal exhibition, kind of 3 generations, his father and his grandfather. Amazing photographs, really great landscapes, some amazing poetry by his grandfather. And if you haven't made it down to check it out, and you call yourself a friend of Cam or the Valley, you have to come see this.
Literally talking to me.
I really want to stress this. Sarah Mace came down just this week during the afternoon.
Good. Yeah.
And so my point is it's very strong and it's a very special moment. And and this particular exhibition, hopefully he'll find another venue somewhere, maybe in Michigan. I'd love for him to show it in Michigan. This is where the family's from, right? But that being said, if you have a chance, try to swing down before Friday at 5 p.m. And then
He's busy on the holidays?
We're just 9 to 5, and so we're not open in the evening or anything. But let's see what else. Then I have a 2-week gap, and then our next show is a printmaking group show, female printmakers. That should be amazing. And then a gentleman named Dan Evans, who teaches at University of Utah, graphic design, but his are sort of collage and design work, and they are really good, like really, really good. For the printmaking side, it's curated by Holly Rios and Carlissa Wells, and then I think that there's 9 artists altogether. And so I'll remind y'all next week about that opening, but we have a couple weeks to go for that. So yeah, it's a good time for that. A little bit of fall. Guess what I get to do tomorrow?
What is tomorrow? Tuesday.
It doesn't matter. It's Tuesday. And so one of our projects of the Salt Lake City Arts Council is this Wake the Great Salt Lake. So this big Bloomberg philanthropy.
This leads into what my sister was doing.
Say the word. Philanthropies.
Yeah.
Grant that we got. And it's a bunch of artwork. Thank you very much. Yeah. So we're kind of wrapping this thing up. But it's been about a dozen local artists. And then we have a large artist that's coming in. Anyway, in preparation for the larger artist, this gentleman named Olafur Eliasson, one of his sort of studio assistants, I guess you'd call it, is in town this week. And so we're doing a boat tour of the Salt Lake tomorrow night.
You are a boat tour?
That's fun, actually.
Yeah.
I've done that.
I feel that we have been out on the lake just on our own, a handful
we
of
did.
times.
And by on our own, we had a guide.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I feel like we
we did.
got
We
salty
paddled
on our
it.
own a couple times.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
We got a little salty.
We got way salty.
But
that was a cool thing because I didn't realize that there was, what do you call it when the berms come up from underground, and it's like because we were in the middle. Look, I had to pee so bad, and we're paddling, and we're going
Sandbars and
sandbar. Yeah. We went out to Fremont Island. We didn't touch it. We didn't touch it. Okay, went out to Fremont Island, and then paddled back. And because it's privately owned or whatever. And then we're like halfway through, and I'm like, oh my God, I pee so bad. And I go to paddle, and I hit one of the sandbars. I was like, what in the hell? I'm like, oh, thank baby Jesus. So I got out and peed in the lake because I could stand. It was up to my knees, and I'm looking around.
You heard her here first, folks. The first person to pee in the Great Salt Lake.
Ever. And it's so, added to the salinity. Is that what that is? But it was weird because I'm like up to my knees, and you just look around, and I'm like, I'm in the middle of an ocean up to it was really a weird feeling, like bizarro place. It is an odd place out there.
Yeah, we'll dedicate a show or two to that because I'm definitely more educated over this last year or two that we've been involved with this project.
Yeah, how come we haven't had April on yet about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, for example, with the drink contest, but there are so many nonprofit groups. Are you familiar with Farm to Glass?
Yes. Yeah.
And so my best friend April's sister
last weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, it was the awards ceremony.
Yeah, it was the awards.
And so her name is April Long, and so she works for Post Office Place, and her drink was called What Remains, and it was brilliant, and it was tied in with the Salt Lake, and then tied in with this Wake the Great Salt Lake, and Grow the Flow. I think got some money, if I remember that. Anyway, it was amazing. The whole process was amazing, and she won an award, which was fantastic. Cocktail with the cause type of thing. I couldn't be prouder.
Because if you were going to make a cocktail that tasted like the Great Salt Lake, where would you begin? And she nailed it. Like I'm like, oh my God, because
including the coloring and local ingredients,
the layers and everything. It was unreal. And it's gone, right? Like you can't get it anymore.
Yeah, she'd have to prep ingredients for it.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Limited time only.
Yep.
You got to grab these things while they're there. Yep.
Yeah, but the textures, the taste, everything was like.
And it got a really good response. Really drove that contest in a different direction, which I was so proud of her for doing. And it was fun collaborating with her because the Arts Council really did collaborate with Post Office Place in April, and that's our goal. I mean, that's the goal of all of us.
Yeah.
Y'all collaborate whenever you possibly can.
Yeah.
If there's any way we could collaborate with you guys, the Arts Council, like I'm always looking for different ways,
Yeah.
This is why we do what we do. Talk to as many people as we can.
I had a good weekend, a good Saturday morning. I was the MC in the van at the dinosaur park for the Spoke-tacular ride where the kids show up in costume and ride their bicycles around. And I brought the fog machine and let the fog machine go inside the van. So it was a true 1987 Dodge where smoke was just pouring out of the van. And I had a
Mystery Machine style.
Oh, yeah. I had a lady come up to me and she goes, "Are you trying to be spooky? Because you're giving off a different vibe." I'm like, 100% I'm giving off a different vibe. It's an 87 Dodge.
Don't ask any questions. You want some candy or not?
And that was a lot of fun. So if you have kids or if you don't, borrow some. And next year, because this is the first year it was at the Dinosaur Park, which was a fantastic venue for that. So Dinosaur Park teamed up with the Goal Foundation and they did that there. And I was just lucky enough to play the spooky tunes out of the van. That's there. Cool. And look for it for next year because that was really cool.
I think you'll appreciate this. And so I revisit this story that we've told a few times. The first year, probably about the first year of van sessions, this would have been about 9 years ago, I guess, where all the musicians would play inside the van, right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, we got so many, we played up the whole van thing, just like you sort of play up your brand, And so the creepiness of playing, inviting people into the van to play. And so anyway, the doors that we would open up, we would fill the door entirely with candy. I mean, so much candy, right? Just every time we were at an event, asking people if they want candy from the van.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! You play these things up. You go hard.
Look, I drive a van around. You know, it says "Enjoy 5 Wives." The locals do on the side of it.
Windows.
And
There's no windows.
there's no windows in the back, but and I'll crack the door and like, hey, anybody want some samples?
Oh my God!
You gotta play it up. You gotta have some fun.
So this kid, this little tiny child, got a flat tire. His front tire was completely flat, and his dad was right behind him. And I was like, I have a pump in the van, and so I was like, hey, I got you, kid. And Dad, like, he knows, right? The kid wouldn't move, and so I go get the pump and I plug it in, and I'm like, all right, bring the bike over here, we'll pump it up. And he's standing on the bike, motionless, like there's no way I am going
this
to
goes against everything I've been taught.
Stranger danger. Stranger danger.
Finally Dad was like, bro, you gotta go, you pump your tire up. And he's like okay, you know, like, so.
Daddy, there's smoke coming out of the van.
100% there's smoke coming out of the van.
You're gonna be mentioned in some poor kid's therapy session later in life.
I know. I pumped it up and he was like, okay, I'm out of here. Like, hey, just got to get to the car. Oh, anyway, good times. Christian, thanks so much for putting this together.
Yeah.
And for joining. Anything else you want to add before we take off?
I think that's everything on my plate.
Okay. Ed, we will see you at the game, I guess.
Yeah.
You're tailgating at the U.
Yeah, I always tailgate at the U.
What's your meal plan?
Well, this week we have game day in, so I don't know what it's going to be. Nobody's talked to me yet. So last week we did Oktoberfest, so I was wearing lederhosens and wore them into the game. I looked really good.
Yeah. You got predictions on scores?
No.
Well,
Do
you make it to the game?
No, I do. I make it to every game. Every game.
Okay, fair enough.
Christian has witnessed.
Yes.
That is a good follow-up question.
I do make it to
I'm
every
like,
game.
he does have a trailer in the parking lot. Like, he might just like, all right, my work is done here. And then like, he goes and crashes.
After the game,
So.
I do go crash.
Yeah, well, that's a wonderful thing. Well, thanks to Banyan One. This is our trailer here for powering today's episode of the Ogden Arts and Adventure Show. You can listen and subscribe to the Ogden Arts and Adventure Show on the YouTube. You can look for us on Facebook and Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and we have a website. It's thebanyancollective.com. Podbean app as well for Android and iPhones. If you want to be on the show, DM me. Slip into my DMs nice and deep like at Ogden Adventure. If you found value in this podcast, you can buy us a beer at buymeacoffee.com/Banyan Media. Buying us a beer means you give us money. So what you do is you transfer your 401k into our buymeacoffee.com/Banyan Media. Banyan is 2 A's, BANYAN, media. We'll leave you this week with a little outdoor jukebox from Van Sessions. This is OK from Rawlings. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on the Ogden Arts and Adventure Show. Cheers.
It's funny how the things control me. I can't let it in. Every time I thought you knew me, it hurt when it did. I never let me tell my story. I'm making a mess. Every time I took it slowly, you rushed to the end. Do people change? Wait, remember the way, is it too late to say? Or is it a waste of my insane? Away, give it a rip. At least we tried our best. Stay at home. Do I let this go or do I hide away? Pretend to be okay again, okay again. Coming back home, girl, you're not alone. I said a pretty day. One day it'll all be okay again. I pray to God, the one and only, to give you the best. And even if I want you for me, I want you to live. And all the peace and all its glory that maybe you strip. Only if you want it, help me doing the rest. Do people change? Wait, remember the wave, is it too late to say? Or is it a waste of my insane? Away, give it a wish. At least we tried our best. Stay at home. okay again. Thank you. It's called Okay. I appreciate that.